Hey, hello, what's up? How you guys doing? I hope you're doing good on this typical Saturday, second week of February. I hope you're doing well, staying cool. Soon it's gonna be cool. You know, this weather is up and down. But anyway, um, in this video, I'm going to show a couple short versions of from content creators on Umar Johnson. Yeah, Umar Johnson, and we're going to see some of the antics that he does, and it's really after listening to these videos, it really I don't know what to say. How some people still I don't give the money and all this stuff, but hey, people are just. I guess he has the cult mindset. And I think he witchcrafts people, but that's my personal opinion. But we're going to see what these content creators say about it. Here's the video.
Energy, we got to pick up the feminine energy. And we know that Queen Mother Harriet and Frederick Douglass were very, very good friends. Some even say may have been cousins, which means I'm related to Harriet itself, and I ain't going to even get into that right now.
Frederick Douglass.
Yes, sir. An ancestor of mine.
So when you say ancestor, what does that mean?
Let me break it down.
Because again, some have said you tried to claim that you are a descendant of Frederick Douglass.
Okay, so let's deal with that.
So hold on 1 second. Here's a statement from the family. Let me go ahead and read this, please. The family of Frederick Douglass has received numerous inquiries about Umar Johnson questioning his relationship to Frederick Douglass. There have also been questions about his legitimacy of his PhD and the handling of the donations he's received for his school that he is promoting. We can tell you with 100% certainty that he is not a descendant of Frederick Douglass.
How am I helping black boys? That's a silly ass question. How does Dr. Umar help black boys? That's a silly ass question. But because you got a blind weave in your head, I'm going to answer the question because you don't know no better. Because you got a blind weave in your head, I'm going to answer the question because you don't know no better. This is what I do for black children. I am the #1 parent advocate in America. I am the #1 certified school psychologist in America. I am the #1 doctor of clinical psychology out here on the grassroots, helping parents protect their children from medication, misdiagnosis, and unnecessary hospitalization. What do y'all think about a date with the doctor FDMG fundraiser? $100. The sisters will pay a $100 raffle. Sisters will pay $100, and if they win the raffle, they get to pick a social event anywhere in the country. It could be a concert, it could be a sporting event, it could be a festival. We're gonna pick her up. I'm gonna pick her up. We're gonna pay for the hotel, pay for the flight. I'm gonna pick her up, take her to the event. We're gonna go to dinner, and we're gonna drop her back off at the hotel.
Let me ask you a question, Dr. Umar. Are you totally against interracial relationships?
I am totally against it.
And Umar's not gonna like me because I believe that you can date who you want to date, just don't be a coon. And you know, we regard Frederick Douglass with high esteem, and he married a white woman at the end of the day. So I look at a man's actions more so than who he dates.
Let me respond to my brother, and I appreciate the dialogue because we still brothers even if we disagree. I want to clarify the Frederick Douglass piece. You're absolutely right. About a decade before his death as an old man, he married a white woman. But let's not forget about Queen Mother Anna Marie Douglass. Frederick Douglass had a dark-skinned, chocolate, beautiful, nappy-headed wife. So I'm going to make sure Anna Marie Douglass gets her due. Now, to your point, that we can marry who we want and not be a coon. How is not building a family with a black woman, how can you be exempt from cooning if you do not build family with black women?
So by your own rhetoric, it's okay if we marry a white woman as long as we marry a black woman first.
No, you should not be marrying a white woman at all.
And I believe that you exclusively date sisters, right?
Yes, and what about the wealth argument? How are you not a sellout if you're giving white people that type of wealth when they've already stolen enough from us? How could you find a white woman who could ever understand you as well as a sister.
Well, the only reason why I mention people's actions is because you yourself exclusively date black, yet you're one of the biggest scammers in our community. It's been 12 years.
Why you do me like that? Why you do me like that, bro? Oh, man. Oh,
we was going good until Michael went a little left.
12 years. I call you a scammer to your face, and your response is not, hey, no, I'm not scamming. Hey, no, you're wrong. Hey, I have an institution I'm working on. Your response is, why you gotta do me like that? Nervous laughter. Strange mannerisms. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know his father did not say that he thinks it's going to end with him building the school, and a few years later, all we have is an abandoned building. But wait, there's more. We don't just have an abandoned building. We got an abandoned building that this man uses as a film set to show off for Instagram viewers. Yo, we got pissy urinals with no plumbing intact, y'all. Oh, his eyes said, he said, damn, why did I come in the bathroom for this video? It smells like hot piss. Sir, you have holes in the ceiling. Holes in the ceiling. When this man finally gets a building, it's a trap house, it's a bando, it's disheveled, it's condemned, it's boarded up. Your interview you did, Sir Umar Sr., it did not age well. Not at all. Not at all. What in the... And this man doesn't have any wherewithal. This man literally showed this footage to his viewers while begging for more donations. Sir, read the room. This is the school. This is the institution. Shitty toilets, no plumbing. Sir, if there's no plumbing to flush that, you really just letting hot shit fester in your school? Oh my God, how does it smell? The HVAC doesn't work. He said the plumbing doesn't work, no electricity. How is he not embarrassed? Exactly. He showed this on camera. Yeah, I paused it. Yeah, I took some screenshots, but he showed this on camera, and I'm sorry, I know some of y'all just say, my bad, y'all. Let's continue with a little more of the content.
I think that, unfortunately, he's going to lose a lot of supporters. But I hope that ultimately he puts this school in the hands of council or a board and doesn't make it just about him. I think that may be the number one problem with this whole venture, that it appears to be beginning and ending with him. And I think that once this thing is sorted out amongst individuals,
that's his father,
not just one individual, then it will come to be. Now, I do truly believe, and I have no inside knowledge at all, I have no reason to lie to you, but I truly do believe that he is going to get this school up. I do not believe that we, not y'all, we, should not sit on our hands, wait for him to continue to bait us with announcements anymore.
Oh my God. So, on one hand, you believe he's really going to build the school. On the other hand, you recognize he's been baiting us with announcements. And don't just say baiting, he's been scamming with these announcements. Oh, I'm going to open it up in 2018. I'm going to open it up in 2019. And he gets thousands of dollars in donations in the meantime, in between time. And Freedmen's Network, thank you so much for the super chat. No comment, just support. I appreciate you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a lot to get through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a part 2. I'm going to schedule a part 2 for Monday because we got a whole lot more to get into that his daddy says. His daddy also did an interview with Lennon Honor. We know Lennon's been on his neck. Oh boy, we got a lot to get through. So we're going to go ahead and do a part 2 on Monday. But before we get out of here, hit that like button. Likes are free after all. Let me drop the bomb again for everybody who's supporting the mission, hitting the Cash App, hitting the PayPal, hitting the Super Chat. I appreciate you all. And I will see you guys tomorrow. On Saturdays, I do my FBA versus Tether streams. It's kind of more of a podcast. I'm not on camera, so I won't be live tomorrow. Also, become a member of the channel. It's only $5, and we do members-only live streams on Sundays. So I'll see you guys Sunday. Shout out to all the members. But yeah, we definitely got to do a part 2. A part 2 is definitely in order, y'all. Let's go. This is a school he's bragging about. Daddy can't defend this. Pop shouldn't speak no more. Pop shouldn't do no more interviews. Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Y'all watching, of course. course. That goes without saying, my brother. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. How is the school coming? We pushing, brother. We pushing. I got a big booty and it's juicy. You better cut it out. She said she got a big booty and it's juicy. Sisters, let's do the work first. Don't worry. We going to make love. Oh, we going to make some love. You better believe that. Okay. But let's do the work first, my beautiful African queens. Let's do the work. Let's do the work. What do you get for these monthly payments? Selfish ass Michelle Honey Brown Jackson. Michelle Honey Brown Jackson on Instagram said, what do you get for these monthly payments? With all due respect, my beautiful African sister Michelle Honey Brown Jackson, that was a silly ass question. That was a silly ass question.
Great question.
That was a silly ass question. Why would you ask the Prince of Pan-Africanism, the #1 black scholar in the world, what do you get? You get the liberation of black boys. That's what you get. You get the proper education of black boys. That's what you get. You get freedom from special education black boys. That's what you get. You get the destruction of the school-to-prison pipeline system, Michelle. That's why we don't have enough money, because of that mindset right there. That's that coonish consciousness coming through. That's the coonish consciousness coming through. What do I get? It ain't about you, Michelle Honey Brown. It ain't about you, Michelle. It's about black boy.
Hey everybody, Sean here, and I hope you're doing well.
But yeah, so that was the one analogy of Dr. Umar Johnson's, how he handles confrontation. But here's another challenge.
This delicious chocolate loophole may boost your memory, but wait till you see how well it melts fat. In fact, it helped me go from 192 to 131 in just weeks. And I've never...
A yellow thing walked into my room. It was about 3 feet tall, shaped like a man, but no features. It ran up to me and punched me in my face.
There is something wrong with Umar Johnson, and I do not believe he's crazy. You see, with that title, and with the clothing, and the beard choice, and the way he looks at you, and the constant talking like this, a weaker mind will look at that and think, wow, he is enlightened.
Maybe it was the Christ energy, anointing me as the Black Christ.
Jesus Christ cares so much about him, punches a 9-year-old in the face, and creates within him the Christ consciousness to be the next Jesus Christ. Umar Johnson is Jesus Christ. At least that's what he thinks he is. Well, I'm sorry, he might not be Jesus Christ, but he is the Christ consciousness. Now, this is not me saying this. I'm not trying to dog the man. I will be in a minute, but I'm not trying right now to dog him. I'm just telling you what he said. Now, this could end up being seen as a roast session, but I will make sure I give you a complete disclaimer. I will not be saying anything that Umar didn't say. I will promise you, I won't be saying anything that this brother didn't say. But if at the end of what you see, you honestly still believe that Dr. Umar Johnson has all his mental faculties in check, you might be one of the people that need to get your mental faculties checked too. Okay? Now, I'm gonna break it down for you, and then I'll have you see what I said. Then I'll break it down, and I'm gonna have you see what he said. Okay? So I don't want you to say I'm lying on nobody. That seems to be the going theme now. That too strong lying on people. Even though we could show you what you say, we're gonna do that again. We're gonna show you, and then we're gonna break it down and show you. Now, y'all remember we talked about Umar. By the way, we did reach out to Umar to come on the show. But just like any good grifter, he want money first. And the kind of money he want, he ain't worth. So we're not going to pay him. Either you come to tell the truth and help black people, or you're too much of a sycophant and you love money too much that you ain't going to help nobody unless you paid for it. I can understand. Your grift requires funds. So I see why you don't want to come talk to intelligent coons. You don't want that because you're too smart, but money will negate your intelligence for just a few hours so you can come talk to the dummies. Money will do that for you. So if y'all still want to listen to it, feel free. There's a check in the mail waiting for you from Umar. That's a lie. That's the first lie I will ever tell to you, because there's no check coming to you. Umar said, and I know he said this because he said it about 18 million times in the beginning of the video, he used to live in Jackson, Mississippi, but then he moved to Jackson, Florida.
I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now, but I used to live in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida right now, but I used to live in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Said that about 18 million times. Jacksonville, Mississippi, and Jacksonville, Florida. Either way, one of them Jacksons. Not the Jackson 5, the other ones. He might be moving to the Jackson 6 and 7. In any case, listen to what he says real quick about what showed up. Have fun.
Got up and ran into my parents' room and I said, I just got punched in the face by an alien. They said, boy, go to bed. I said, Umi, we just saw that spaceship. It was real. Because right after you sent me to bed, this little yellow man with no face made a pure yellow light, came into my room. If anybody has an idea of what that, could it have been an ancestor? Do ancestors travel on spaceships? Do the ancestors, is it possible that the spaceships are ancestors?
All right, he saw a UFO. Told his mom about the UFO. Then he went to bed. Okay? So you saw a UFO and you need somebody to break down what UFOs are. That's all well and good. Many people say they see aliens and they see this and they see that. Good. Then he goes on to describe said alien and what alien did. Now this one I can't make up. And look, even if I was Steven Spielberg, I couldn't come up with this one. The Sixth Sense didn't have as much drama as what he's going to tell you. Signs couldn't do a better job of presenting aliens than this man's about to do. But I have the answer for him, and I'll be happy to tell him. I'm a dream reader. I can read your dreams, brother, and I'll break it all down for you. And you can always know that you can thank a coon for making sure you got the information you need. So he's going to tell you what happened. Listen carefully.
You know, this yellow thing walked into my room. It was about 3 feet tall, shaped like a man, but no features. No, it was just pure yellow light, shaped like a man with no features, pure yellow light. And I'm scared as shit, and I'm acting like I'm asleep, because I don't want him to know I'm woke. And then all of a sudden, it ran up to me and punched me in my face. I just knew I had a black eye or a broke nose.
So a being of light, yellow light, came to him while he was still awake in his room at 9 years old. No facial features, but really muscular. Punched him in the face. He goes one step further though. Like, he really goes one step further. Like, he really goes one step further. I'm gonna let him say it, because if I say it first, y'all gonna say I'm lying. So, here.
Maybe it was the Christ energy anointing me as the Black Christ.
Now,
oh, geez.
He got smacked by Christ consciousness. Now, I didn't know Jesus was in the business of pimp slapping people. I always thought there was a choice you had to make to pick Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. But apparently, for Umar, Jesus Christ cares so much about him, punches a 9-year-old in the face, and creates within him the Christ consciousness to be the next Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Let that one sit on your consciousness for just a second. Because this is the same man who wants to open a school. He wants to open a school to teach your kids what he knows. This man said he saw a short, yellow, light-lit man walk into a 9-year-old room, punch him in the face, and then he says this. He said, now listen, I'm not a very good judge of character, apparently, but I don't consider someone being punched in the face a good thing.
No.
But here's what he said about the little character that came into his room. He says he's not an evil person, not a bad person. I'm not making here. Listen.
But if you have an interpretation for it wasn't a demon. It wasn't a demon. It wasn't an evil force.
When was the last time a good person just walked up to somebody they didn't know and just pow? A kid nonetheless. Name one time you could hear in the Bible where Jesus said, "Suffer the children to come to me." Come on, suffer them children. Bring them in. I'm going to put my Christ consciousness right between the eyes. That's biblical, apparently, to Umar. Now we're roasting it. But at some point, people got to wake up, y'all. Look, if Umar really was a Christ conscious being, and he was the second coming or whatever he thinks he is, how is it that the school don't just get built like that? Remember now, you got God in you. You God now. You could just materialize stuff. You don't need white people.
Right.
You already had a yellow person show up. You don't need white people. You could just be like, school be done. Boom. School done. I need proficient black teachers. Boom. Be done. And I need all my students to be black. Boom. Be done. And I need them all to have straight A's. Boom. Be done. No, he on there begging for cash app and money and interpretation. Why would Jesus need an interpreter, bro?
Did you hit the Cash App for Black History Month? Did all of y'all on my live hit the Cash App for Black History Month for FDMG? If you didn't hit the Cash App for the first day of Black History Month, I need you to do that right now. Does anybody, if you think you know what that yellow person was, that yellow thing in the shape of a man, if you think you have an interpretation, please text me.
That alien punched the senses of God into you and you still need an interpreter? Oh wait, you're still worried about whether or not it might have been God consciousness. So let me get this one right. Dr. Umar is of the belief that he saw an alien spaceship. An alien came out of that spaceship, entered his room, punched him in the face, gave him God consciousness. He decided to become a counselor. Got in his older days, still can't do nothing Christ conscious. Need white people money and people skilled to build a school for black people because he hate white people, and now grifting for money even though he got God in him.
And I got 5 kids. School, Dr. Umar, what do you do? You gonna have to put that check in another day. Give me that $2 million. And contractors were not kind to us, man. They ripped us off, they scammed us, they stole out the building. And I said, you know what? We may have to step outside the African American community and get this done. So I said, let's go with some white folks. And guess what? Here we are, 90 days later, and the white contractors have gotten us to the finish line.
This is crazy to me. This is very crazy to me. Now, it's blasphemous. We get that, and we probably should not really be joking about blasphemy. But I'm not laughing at my Lord and Savior. I'm laughing at Umar, who thinks he's God. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. I mean, I do, but I don't. Because I don't know how people can get to the point where they can park all sensibility, listen to somebody like him, send him money, and believe that he has your best interest at heart. I honestly don't know how you could think that. I don't know how you could think that God would show up to some kid, punch him in the face, and walk off. Does that make sense to you? And how it could be a good spirit and punch somebody in the face. Now, if the definition of good is that I'm punching you with the efficacy of God, just hold on. I know Joe Rogan has a really strong kick. So maybe if I get, he's short too. Joe Rogan is short. He ain't yellow, but some Christmas lights could make it work. Maybe I should get Joe Rogan to come to my house after I believe I saw some aliens, and he could like reverse side kick me and get me some Christ consciousness too, because he kicks harder, I'm sure, than that little yellow dude. To my people who watch this man, there is something wrong with Umar Johnson, and I do not believe he's crazy. I believe that he is a really good psychologist. I honestly believe that Umar is one of the best psychologists out there, because he knows exactly what to say, how to say what he says. He knows, and he knows to whom to say it. Mm-hmm. He has studied words, and he knows how to deliver them. I will give that man his props. He also knows by repeating something often enough that the weaker minds will accept it as reality and truth. He knows this. This is psychology. He knows that if he can say something so profound and back it up with something that's unsubstantiated and you cannot prove or disprove, he will win every time. Because you can't say he lied and you can't prove that he's true. Psychology. He also knows that if you can take someone's trauma and bring it to the forefront and promise them a solution without actually producing a solution, you can gain the favor of that person just by your words. And he's done that to scores of black Americans. Give yourself a title too, because you can't have power without a title. Prince of Pan-Africanism. Prince. You see, with that title and with the clothing and the beard choice and the way he looks at you and the constant talking like this, a weaker mind will look at that and think, wow, he is enlightened. This man is telling me stuff I've been feeling for years, because you did feel that and he knows you felt it. Everyone can feel trauma, and if I can just, isolate one portion of your trauma and expand it for you, you would honestly think I'm a part of your psyche and I know exactly what's going on with you, but I don't. But I do know how to manipulate it. And if I can promise you the solution is as easy as a dollar bill, or as easy as harping on the fact that you are black, and black alone, with no actual tangible proof of help, I win. Umar is a grifter, and if anyone's a sellout, it's him. If anyone would have been a house, you know who, it would have been him. If it was anyone that would hunt you down and bring you back to the plantation, it would have been him. If there was any that would watch you lose your child to the slavery, it would have been him. If it was any of them in Africa that would have sold you into slavery, it would have been him. If there was any that helped burn Black Wall Street, it would have been him.
Did you know that there is a hidden message in the ancient Egyptian symbol, the Eye of Horus, despite...
I learned early on that my ability to serve customers is tied to my ability to serve.
We gonna talk about Dr. Umar a little bit. Sorry guys, I know that you like, man, why are we talking about him? But this is actually for a reason. And the reason is, I think the African community needs to start being more vocal about how they feel about Dr. Umar. And this is a prime example of that. And before I play this first video, it may trigger a couple of you guys, because we already know that all the things that this host who is talking to Dr. Umar is saying, what he's saying is untrue. It leads to a broader point. But I really wish that African men from the actual continent, they would speak up more like this brother did here from the Men's Voice podcast. I wasn't able to find his channel on YouTube, but I did find this clip on TikTok. And he explained something that every black man needs to hear. Because the narrative is that African men, they're more predisposed to being providers. They live the old way. They're traditional. They provide for their wives and, all these types of things, right? But this African man is going to explain something that a lot of the black community tends to leave out about African men. Let's cook.
Women will have to marry out of the reason. I just want to tell you one thing. Based on the numbers, I'm pretty sure it starts off kind of even at around 18. It starts to decline at around 30. It gets out of hand where we're at, say, 7 to 10, 6 to 10. But when you factor in unemployed, homosexuals, people who stay at home, we could argue it's probably 4 to 10.
Okay, So you guys heard that. That may be the triggering part. He's basically bringing up all the false narratives about black men. He's basically saying that, well, with all the gay men, with all the men who are unemployed, so on and so forth. Then this is how these people like to frame these kind of conversations. Black men have all these check marks in regards to our population. You remove the gay men, you remove the men who are unemployed, the men who don't make much money, things of that nature, right? They always remove us, but for some odd reason, they always forget to remove the same type of population from black women. So they make it seem like out of the 48% of single, never married black women, every black woman is marriage material. As opposed to black men, the 52% who are single, never married, we have all these check marks. You remove this. So now you have this 48% of single, never married, marriageable black women, as opposed to the dwindling 52%, which may be what they consider, let's say 25% of black men who are available for black women. That's how they try to frame these conversations, like every black woman is marriage material. You know, I already did the statistic, we broke it down, we already know what it came out to be, right, in regards to who's more marriageable. The percentage of black men 18 and over who are obese and overweight in 2018, that number is 68.6% for black women 18 and over who are obese and overweight. That is 75.2%. Black men who have ever fathered children. 46%. Black women who have ever mothered children. 61%. Black men who are currently married is at 33%. Black women who are currently married is at 27%. What is the poverty rate for black men in 2022? It is 15.5%. What is the poverty rate for black women? In 2022, it is 18.8%. Our total poverty rate is 17.1%, which is the lowest ever for black people. How many black women are in prison? Black men and women account for roughly 13% of the general population. Black women account for 29% of incarcerated women. 48,000 black women. That equates to 0.22% of black women in the general population of 28.6 million are currently incarcerated / prison. Black men account for 35.4% of incarcerated men. 612,000, almost 613,000 black men. 3.38% of black men in the general population of 19.91 million are currently incarcerated or in prison. If you look at the general population of black men, only account for 3.38%.
It turns out there is 1 cent that a woman just can't get enough of on a man. 1 cent.
All the black men are gay, right? That's what we hear. How many black men identify as gay out of the total 1.2 million black LGBTQ population? It's 39%. 39% of 1.2 million, the total black LGBTQ population is approximately 468,000 black men. How many black women identify as gay / lesbian out of the total 1.2 million black LGBTQ population? 61%. There's far more black women that identify as gay or lesbian. 61.2% of 1.2 million of the total black LGBTQ population is approximately 732,000 black women. Well, where'd you get that information from? That sounds made up. UCLA School of Law, Williams Institute, they actually track all of these numbers for themselves. They have a whole wing associated for that. January 2021. So if you want to do your research, you can do it here, right here. Black LGBT adults. The gender divide among black adults greater for black LGBT adults, as 61% of black LGBT adults are women. I've done videos on this when Rebecca Lynn Pope was talking about that foolery. It's the same false talking points. So that's how he's asking Dr. Umar, black women are going to have to marry out because there's not that many marriageable black men. So now Dr. Umar has to respond. Listen to what he says.
So with those type of numbers with incarceration, with those type of numbers, don't you think it's reality for women eventually to look to other races for men, even if you don't condone it? But it just seems like a realistic approach because there's just not enough men. And I want to go against I know you're going to mention polygamy, right? But the only reason with polygamy, due to the income of a lot of black men, I don't know if there'll be enough black men making enough to take care of numerous women.
So he's saying black men ain't got enough money to support 2 wives or 3 wives, right? And I don't think black men really want to do that. So, but yeah, so that's the other narrative. Black men are just broke. Black women are out earning all these black men, so we don't have enough money to support wives. Okay, here we go.
Should redefine polygamy where the women are taking care of the men in some weird way, but I wonder we should have
good question. So do black women have to consider dating outside the race since there's not enough men available for them, and the ones who are available want a woman outside of the race? I would still be against it. I would say that the black woman can go north to Canada and get her a black man. She could go south to Central America. More than enough black men down there. More than enough black men in South America. More than enough black men in the Caribbean. I think she has to broaden her horizons, but I don't think she has to go outside of her race.
All right, so let's stop there. Sounds a lot like the Passport Bro movement, right? It seems like Dr. Umar is promoting black women to become passport cis. If they can't find a black man in the States, go to Canada, go to South America, go to the continent, and find you a good brother out there. But he's forgetting one thing. Black women don't want to go 50-50 here. So you telling black women to go overseas to find a man, she's probably going to be the primary breadwinner.
We're going to chat with the star of TLC's 90-Day Fiancé Love in Paradise, Dr. April Carter herself. Welcome to Houston Life.
Thank you.
You're a doctor. You did your residency at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center in Memphis before coming here to Houston.
It's like a big dream, American dream. Big in America, you need to think big.
So your family, they have to think small because they're on a small island. So stop asking for money so we can live big.
And basically, he kind of tells her off. And at first, I was like, yeah, you tell her how out of touch she is. But then things kind of turned sideways. At first, he was like, you are so disrespectful, and you can't treat us like we're lower than you because you have money and status, and that's all you talk about, blah, blah.
Tienes que saber que yo soy un hombre. Yo soy el hombre en la relación. ¿Tú crees que tú me puedes controlar a mí? No es así.
And that was pretty much it. And I think that's where their relationship ends.
Dr. Umar, please, record it when you try and sell that to black women. Please. I pay money for Dr. Umar to sit black women down and tell them, hey, there's eligible black men in South America. You should go find one there. But the caveat is you're going to have to fund the marriage. How many black women are going to be for that? I'd pay money to see the crowd reaction for that. Sister, if you can only pay a light bill, Tyler Perry, only pay a light bill, then you need to get you a man overseas. Marry him. Yeah, he don't understand that the same don't work for women. So, and that's funny, he just says this so flippant, just like, yeah, just go out there and find a man from a different country. As if black women, the majority of black women are ready to go. What do y'all think? And I want, if black women are in the comment section, out of that 48% of black women who are single, never married, how many of them are marriage material to the point that they can go overseas, make enough money, mind you, and find a husband in a different country? On average, the majority, right? We're not talking about the one-offs, the two-offs, because I know there are going to be people, well, some women I know, my friend found a man in Africa. We get that, sister. We understand that. But yeah, so I just wanted to be clear. Like, brother, you say that, so reckless, like, damn, like they could just do that. Let's continue.
And honestly speaking, I think it would be to her advantage to do so. And the reason I say that is because in America we have had the
economic emasculation of the black man, where women have been put in charge of the leadership of the community, and it has been this way for at least 50 years. We have created a culture where it's okay for black men to not be masculine, to not be leaders. So if the black woman is looking for that traditional black masculinity, she will definitely find that in Africa.
He said if they're looking for that traditional level of masculinity, they will find that in Africa. Let's continue.
The black men weren't subject to that white emasculation system. She will find him in South America. She will find him in the Caribbean, because these are communities where black men are raised and taught how to live off the land, how to build a house with your bare hands.
Jesus. And this is why I say African men need to speak up. Are African men building houses with their hands? Is anybody African in the chat? I've been to 12 countries in Africa. Mind you, over a year time span. Are African men literally building houses with their hands like that? This brother right here, man, he good. Let's continue.
How to be a provider for your family. They very much still have that original killer instinct, not killer in terms of killing somebody's life, but that do or die for my family mentality that a lot of us in the States don't have. So I think not only should the black woman look outside of the geographic borders of the United States for a husband, I think it'd be to her liking to do it. I know sisters who have married African men, some of whom never thought they would look at them. They were not attracted. And they said, when I gave myself a chance, I actually liked him more than the brothers because he was so much willing to be everything I wanted in a man.
So he's saying that they didn't find the African man attractive, but he was able to provide. Here we go.
I'm not downplaying the brothers in the States, because we do have alphas and we do have brothers who still imbue that black masculine spirit. But if we're going to be honest, it's probably lower here than other places because of that emasculation process that we went to, along with all the other issues that the white power structure has introduced into the community.
This delicious chocolate loophole may boost your memory, but wait till you see how well it melts fat. In fact, it helped me go from
has introduced into the community.
Alright, so let's stop right there. Y'all heard what he said, right? Saying not trying to downplay the brothers, but he feels that other races of men in different countries still have that traditional mindset. But let me ask y'all a question. Out of the 48% of black women that are single, never married, what percentage of them are traditional women? As opposed to modern, if you want to, compare the two. They always forget this stuff.
That's
like,
true.
Black women are just doing everything right. And let me stop. But I'm gonna let the Men's Voice podcast cook. And when I tell you, African men, y'all need to start speaking up. Because Dr. Umar is putting a lot on y'all brothers. Because he's saying that y'all will accept anything. And I'm glad that this brother broke it down specifically for Dr. Umar. Here we go.
Okay, so again, if you don't have the ability to multitask, when do you expect the black male to be self-preservation?
We can't multitask.
Everybody can't, Dr. Umar. We can't say everybody can save children.
Shopping. We find time to party.
Saving children is different than partying.
We find time to go on vacation. That's an excuse.
So again, and I'm sorry, I didn't watch this whole interview, but he's saying black men find time to party. We have time to vacation, but we not taking care of the kids. Basically, he wants black men to be stepfathers. Taking care of the kids, means to him being the cleanup man for the black women who had all these children out of wedlock. That's what he's saying. Sad, but it is what it is. Let's continue.
Don't care enough to do it, and we need to be honest and say that.
Dr. Umar, you are losing it here. You are losing it. Let me tell you. You love to refer black American men to how it is done on Africa. Let me tell you one proverb. Take this from me. In Africa, especially in Ghana, we have a proverb that goes like this. A man was born to protect his society. And if the society makes it difficult for him to protect the society, the man withdraw and protect his community. If the community makes it difficult for the man to protect the community, the man withdraws to go and protect his household. And when the household makes it difficult withdraw to protect himself, to preserve himself, then maybe go and gather more strength and see if he can protect all the people he is mandated to protect.
He said this is an old African proverb, and typically through Ghana. A man was born to protect his society, and if the society makes it difficult for him to protect the society, the man withdraws and he protects his community. If the community makes it difficult for the man to protect this community, then the man withdraws and protects his household. And when the household makes it difficult for a man to protect his family, the man withdraws and protects himself. Didn't I just do a video on the rule of 10? It sounds familiar, right, guys? I didn't hear this until 2 days ago. Black men can only lead people who are willing to follow. And this is basically what this African proverb is saying. It's not just me, guys. And that's why I said African men need to start speaking up. Because Dr. Umar puts a lot on you guys. He assumes that you guys just will accept anything just because a woman is American. And that's why I want you guys to start speaking up. I know it may feel good to hear Dr. Umar say that, yeah, these African men, you know, they are more traditional. They take care of their family. They build houses with their hands. I know it feels good to hear. But at the root of it, he's basically telling you guys that you're going to accept everything. Black women aren't going to change just like that when they cross the water to Africa. They're going to just fall in line and get with your ideologies and be submissive traditional wives. The majority of them. And that's what Dr. Umar is pretty much telling our black women to do, to go overseas. And again, you do what you want. But I just want to be very clear with all my African listeners. Y'all need to speak up as well. Because this is what he's telling you. And I'm glad that the Men's Voice podcast actually told Dr. Umar, you are wrong. We're not going to accept this foolery if y'all going to sit here and make it bad for the black American men that are trying to do what they need to do, but y'all are making it difficult. From the society, the community, to the household, so on and so forth. Alright?
Dr. Umar Johnson, before anybody can protect a society, a community, a group, a household, that man must have authority. Where if he has to correct somebody, a boy, he does not always have to consult a woman who has failed already.
He doesn't have to consult a woman who has failed already, basically meaning a woman who already has children by another guy, out of wedlock, mind you. I'm pretty sure that's what he meant. Let's continue.
In most cases, if a black man won't even marry a black American woman, this black man has to go through a long list of permission he needs to get from a woman. Somebody who is a failure, somebody who could not do it by herself, I have to consult him. Your black American men have to consult them how to discipline the child. What are you talking about? So Dr. Umar Johnson, go through the proverb that I gave you. A man was born to protect and protect his society. If the society makes it difficult, he comes to protect his community. If the community makes it difficult, he comes to protect his household. If the household makes it difficult to protect the household, that man needs to protect himself. That is where the black American man is right now. That is where the black American man is right now as we speak. And the black American man needs to save himself. First, build defense before he can go save anyone. As far as black males and females relationship is concerned, most black men need to save themselves. Dr. Umar Johnson, I want to go on the internet and find out your response to when a sister said that they love it when they see the police unaliving black male.
And these brothers are paying attention too. They understand the rhetoric that a lot of black women are pushing out there.
Yep.
Drinking coffee every day didn't work for me, but I couldn't figure out why until I went from 184 to 123. I was doing everything right. I just needed a little tweak to one thing. So this is the simple
I built the whole plant. I concerned, my beautiful African queen. I hope your hair is natural.
You're not natural, baby. I see you got that perm in there. I still love you. You're gorgeous, but you're not nappy. You got to be nappy, baby. You got to be nappy. If I can't grab it, I can't have it. It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the cool chip.
Heterosexual couples only. This is not a government-funded activity. I have the right to discriminate. Heterosexual couples only.
Donations. Donations. Gifts. Gifts. I be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. I be that boy you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. That's right. I be that boy you gon' remember. We're gonna have a National Coons Conference at FDMG. Yes, brothers and sisters. We have to have a National Coons Conference. Anybody who tells you they're running for office to help somebody, smack their ass in the face.
What you wanna do? You wanna box, nigga? You wanna street rumble, or you wanna get into the intellectual boxing ring?
Tyler Perry. Goddamn, brother. Can we please consider some other moves?
Suit and tie niggas. Suit and tie niggas. Look, see, I got credentials. You ain't got none, you dirty nigga. Ain't you the same nigga
who sold drugs to go to kill it? Did your dumbass say that on YouTube? You sold drugs to go to kill it? You counterproductive. Who never sell drugs to go to kill it?
I'm right here. Come bring it. I'm right here, nigga. Come bring it. I told you consciousness. I don't play with y'all like that. But I knew you had to do it, nigga. They gassed you, and now they gonna have you, nigga. They gassed you.
And I know that you probably have access.
I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. I'ma be that boy you gon' remember. That's right. I'll be that boy you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. Friends of the Lord, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I speak about the prophet over Drew Ali. Who was the first to remind you and bind you?
Looking for the best price on it? Kelly Blue Book Price Advisory. Does it need fixing? Kelly Blue Book Service and Repair Guide. Want to sell or trade it?
About the prophet over Drew Ali. Who was the first to remind you and bind you back? To Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black. Proving the straight fact. You tripping off drugs, you need to be tripping off that. But here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people told you.
Great grandparents. Are you aware? I want you to understand, overstand, and understand me. Are you aware? Stay focused. Stay focused, baby. Stay focused. Consciousness over cookies right now. Politics over the punani right now. Stay focused. We're talking revolution.
To fix it so this does not happen to us again, so that this does not keep happening to us. And our whole history dated all the way back. You keep going further and further back. What happened to us? Where did we go wrong? We continue to allow ourselves to be bamboozled, basically, and it's a ongoing thing with us. When will we learn that we need to stop and address this situation? We need to build strong minds, and we need to put certain things in place so that these type of things cease to exist, so that we're not the group that's always being bamboozled. Because Umar's done, okay? Umar's just washed up. He's never gonna be Marcus Garvey or Malcolm X. You know, he's never going to be, regardless of what happened. Nobody even had to bring any information up on Umar. Umar, he was going to reveal himself anyway. That was going to happen. He was definitely going to self-destruct. So I I saw this, and this is essentially what he did. So it's really not even an issue of even attacking him because he's done for. Okay, now the next Umar is looking up like, okay, I'm going in for the kill. Now I want to be Umar.
Sex gets entered into the equation too soon. Men and women are having sex too soon. When people have sex too soon, a lot of times that can set up a mindset of assumption and expectation, which can breed disaster because you're not communicating about that which it is you want. So for example, we had sex, so that automatically makes you my girlfriend. We had sex, so that automatically makes him your boyfriend. No, it doesn't. Until you had a communication and discuss the terms of this relationship, there are no terms. But for a lot of people, once they get romantic and intimate, it changes things on the structural side of relationships, even if it wasn't verbally articulated. Once you have sex with someone, most people lose the ability to objectively evaluate whether or not this relationship is in their best interest. Before I laid down with her, I was able to study her. I was able to see her for what she was, what she is. Once I laid down with her, I've had sex. Now there's an intimate relationship there. Whether I want to admit it or not, I can no longer objectively evaluate her because we've now crossed a threshold that was crossed too soon. Same thing for women, and especially for women because they're internal. You hear women say, well, I can sleep with a guy and get up and move on, and it doesn't bother me. It's psychobiologically impossible. When you lay down with someone, your body releases chemicals that automatically begins to bind your aura to them. This has been proven in the biological research. You can never just lay with somebody, get up and move on without some of their ashe, some of their energy being on. This is a neurochemical reality. So nobody gets up and walks away. But because women are internal, they consume so much more of that man's energy. And as a result of that, it makes it difficult for them to objectively evaluate him. And so now she's trying to make it look like he's a good guy because she slept with him. Now a situation that should have been just ended, a bad experience, an unhealthy decision, now gets compounded because I gave this man some of
I'm just overwhelmed. Financially, I am not in a good place. How can I even think about starting a business when I have all these bills? Totally get where...
I'm gonna stop it right here. I might have to do a part 2 on that one to finish up that video. But yeah, people actually follow this guy, man, and and people take his word. He got these. He goes on these tours, and some people come and really he hoodwink a lot of people with his words, and some knowledge is probably outdated since the last time he was at on studies back in 20 years ago. And so now we see his mindset. So if people still following him, hey, that means that he did witchcraft their mind. And like the one guy said from Stu Strong, he really know how to work his psychology on people. But you see how his actions is. So the whole point of this video was to show you the mind of Umar Johnson, and from different content creators and what was said, and it sounds like he's knowledgeable, and like I said, like I mentioned, you see how his actions is. He's like, wow, he's really selling really good, but then it's that other crazy side, that other crazy talk, and like they said, this is where you want to send your kids to school at. That he's still working on the building for almost 15 years. And people still, and I think that people still sending money, and he's going across the country, around the world on their money. He ain't building that school. And people falling for the hook line, I'm praying King Kong on Tune Day. Man, And if that's if he's a prince of Pan African, I feel sorry for the Pan Africans. After seeing this video, and you look at his psychic and his mindset, and you tell me if you were Pan African, so who selected to be the leader of that? But hey, that's all I gotta say about that. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. But yeah, that's the mind of Umar. I mean, and people still gonna send him money, and they still gonna, yeah, think he's talking about revelation. Meanwhile, he's talking about women's body parts and their hair. Very interesting. And the silly part about it, the people that follow go listen to him. I will show you that on the next video. Alright then, guys. Take care. See you on the next video. Like and subscribe. Take care.